Chairman, I think this is for okay, and we shall proceed. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of humanity, we beseech you to look upon with your abundant favor these your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important trusts in this land. Let your blessing descend upon them here assembled, and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under their deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to their charge. Amen.
So, Accounting Officer, we are going to make our introductions. I'll start from my side, but I think one of the housekeeping thing I think is about our washrooms. Washrooms are for ladies, odd number. No, ladies even number. This is the 4th floor, that means ladies. You don't have ladies. For gentlemen, odd number. So you go down on that floor, and then you're good to go. Is there another housekeeping instruction? The other one, which we always tend to forget, this is your food. And we cannot eat until you have started. So this is your food, Accounting Officer with your team. So you're free to pick anything you want. And the day when we see you eating, we shall also eat. In our culture, you can't eat before the guests. Another instruction? Thank you very much. So let me do my introduction. I'll start with my side, then I'll give you an opportunity to introduce. So let me start with my colleagues.
Yes, a very good morning to you, Chair, colleagues, and our guests this morning. Frederick Amura, Member of Parliament representing Tororo South, Kilometer 0.
Thank you, Frederick.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Rick Amura. Thank you, our dear clients who has come. My name is Oken Pipi Ujara. I represent the people of Chua West. I'm Deputy Chair of Park. You're most welcome.
My people on the other side.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. I'm Justine Kalembe, Senior Research Officer, this committee.
Thank you, Justine.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Susan Arise. I'm an accountant from Accountant General's Office. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Chair, honorable members. Good morning, everybody. I'm called Sarongo Kwanyawili, Senior Auditor Officer of the Auditor General and attached to Parliamentary Liaison. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Najima Perot Lillian, Administrative Assistant, Park Secretariat.
Good morning, Chair. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Detective Inspector of Police, in charge CID, attached to this committee.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Detective Assistant Inspector of Police, Oluoch Michael, CID Officer attached to the committee.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Emao Mikaya, Detective attached to Park.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Gilbert Ainomjisha. I'm the clerk to the committee.
Accounting Officer, the rest I will introduce. It's your microphone now.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Nyeko John Filbert, the Hospital Director of Arua and the Accounting Officer. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Leonard Biamukama. I'm a Principal HR for the hospital.
Principal what?
Human Resource Officer.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Michael Sebuliba Mutumba. I'm the Human Resource Officer of Arua Regional Refferal Hospital.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Omongi Agasti, the incoming accountant.
Incoming? You have come in already. Why are you?
Yeah. Thank you, Chair. My name is Ogwang Daniel, Accountant Assistant, Arua Refferal Hospital.
Understand what?
Accountant Assistant.
Accountant Assistant. Thank you, Chair. You put it on.
Thank you, Chair. And good morning, everyone.
Good morning, my brother.
My name is Jeffrey Kamara, the Procurement Officer, currently at Arua Regional Referral Hospital.
No, you're not currently, you're the Procurement Officer.
Good morning, Chair, and the rest of the members. My name is Mhangso Badia. I'm a former Procurement Officer of Arua Regional Referral Hospital, currently working with the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. I've been invited by the accounting officer to accompany him. Thank you.
That was good. So, accounting officer, I have here members of the public, the fourth estate. My name is Nandala Mafavi, the chair of the committee. Accounting officer, again, we want to welcome you. We had to give you time because you come from Arua. By 10 you could not make it. We knew you never knew traffic in Kampala. Maybe that's why you got a problem, but you're most welcome. Today we're going to look at the financial year 2018-2019. And here we don't look for faults. We only want you to answer for accountability issues. And if there are issues you want to tell us, please also tell them. If you have challenges, you must also mention them. And at the moment you are very clear, then also Parliament will find a way how to assist. Also in the same time, if we have issues as a Parliament, you're free to raise them. So this is an opportunity for you. This is when you raise them, they will be taken care of. Either in the report or you want them to be communicated to you with answers right now. Otherwise, feel free, that's your food. Are you okay? Thank you very much. So we want to go to item number 4. We want you to give us a small brief statement for about 5 minutes on how you're managing COVID-19. 5 minutes. Do you have a written report? You don't have a written one. So if we don't have a written one, we'll say we'll allow you pass it. We'll ask you have to make a few comments, and you'll make it in writing because it will be part and parcel of our report to Parliament. Is that okay? So you are given 5 minutes to deal with that if you can.
Thank you very much, Chairman, FAC, honorable members present, members of the forces, and the police, and the members from the clerk's office. My name is Nyeko Philbert once again, the hospital director of Arua, and the accounting officer. As far as COVID is concerned, I'll start by giving you statistics, then go backward into the history. In West Nile, we have made a diagnosis of 128 COVID cases. Of these 128, 51 were transferred to other regional hospitals because of lack of space. 1 was managed in Ajuma General Hospital, cured and was discharged. That means Arua Regional Referral Hospital has so far admitted 74. Chairman and members, we have so far discharged 70. We have referred out 2 because of other complications, specifically to Mulago. And if you calculate, that means today we have only 1 in care. That one is about 1 week old, and is stable. So we are hopeful that we'll be able to discharge that person probably by this weekend. Honorable Chair and members, we have been treating COVID-19 cases way back from April 24th, when we admitted 4 Tanzanians. The following day, another Tanzanian truck driver, and we treated them well. They are all been discharged. Honorable Chair, we border DR Congo and Sudan, making up a total distance of about 1,300 kilometers. Both of these borders are porous, with some of the tribes across the frontiers being also in Uganda, so movement is frequent and it's difficult to close that border. Here, along that border, we have a community that nearly have no governance. The South Sudan part has very little presence of government, and the Eastern DR Congo, that border has very little governance. So there are very many issues there that affect us as a country, and as a regional hospital we are unable to control. This is a national matter of security, and maybe it will be transmitted outside. Honorable Chair, these 128 people include refugees. In West Nile, we have about 1.3 million refugees. That makes up part of the population that we serve. While we serve these refugees in all capacities and in all manners, we do not have a reciprocal allocation of resources to take care of them. That puts a constraint on us. Honorable Chair and members, I would end on the note of resources for COVID. While we started preparing to receive COVID cases and prevention and all that in March, when the lockdown was first pronounced by government, we only received funds for COVID at the end of April. That was 2 months down the road. While we had budgeted and forecast that we will need 450 million every month, we were supplied with the 270 million at the end of April. That is the money we have been wrestling with from that time up to now. I need to remind this House that at the time there was a total lockdown, so we could not get services, and yet these people we are calling patients would need to eat. They need other amenities that were difficult to get. At the time there was very high level of stigma against corona, and so whoever would venture in there would put into consideration for that stigma by increasing the cost of their services. And even when they have done so, it was not easy until we get government permission to be able to have that service offered. For example, where the people should sleep after touching corona cases, where to get the food. And because of that, some of the services we procured around that time of total lockdown were unusually costed. Chair, because the money was supplied once and we have used it, it is complete in now May, April, May, June, July. In 3 months, this is the 4th month, we don't have many more resources to hold more clients. Related to service delivery, Chair, is that we were instructed to use the mental units of hospitals to house corona. These mental units, we have used them, and in effect we had to remove the mental health patients, and since that time we have nowhere to put the mental health patient, and I think most of our regional referral hospital mental health units are still being used for that purpose, and that means across the country we have nowhere to treat mental health patients. And this is worrying because we are not foreseeing Corona ending. Chair, I would like to end by asking you that yes, we also have a challenge of foreigners. Some of them get COVID and they want to be treated in Uganda, so they want to cross and they don't declare results. We test them and find them positive and they want to be treated here. While government is saying they should be repatriated, some local authorities are keeping such persons and they are forcing them onto the regional hospital despite the high cost that we're incurring in keeping these COVID-19 cases in our treatment units. I want to stop at this and thank you. It was a brief one. If there's anything, I'll be grateful to answer or any of my colleagues here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have given us your story.
Chair.
Colleagues, if there's anything.
Yeah, maybe before we proceed, Chair. I remember the last time we visited Arua Regional Referral Hospital, there were issues that were unresolved. Number one, the accounting officer had some challenges because the then accounting officer had actually refused to hand over to the current accounting officer. So we want to know whether there was a smooth handover of the position and whether the matters that were coming up were resolved. Because we found there was a lot of tension in the Arua Regional Referral Hospital, which was affecting your work and also the overall work of the hospital. Then there was an oxygen plant which was not operational. There was a very beautifully built oxygen plant, but it was not operating to the maximum capacity. There were some challenges. So I'm not sure whether they have now rectified that, because we had told them to rectify the oxygen plant, which I think is now very important in this part of this period of COVID-19, because they definitely need a lot of oxygen in the hospital. Then there was also no internal auditor completely in the hospital. I don't know whether they've managed to acquire one. And the hospital management board was not yet in place at that time. So we also wonder whether these issues were addressed as we exit to the new financial year, Chair. So this is what I wanted him to clarify, and we see whether the hospital has started at a very good footing to make sure they offer effective service to our people in Arua. You're most welcome. Thank you.
Yes, we came there, you remember, and you saw us.
Thank you, Chair. You know, sometimes when you're old and you don't put on glasses, you can't see everyone. But I saw some people. Thank you.
I told you we are the ones.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Honorable members, it's true that there was some tension in Arua, because when I was transferred there, I could not access office for 1 year, and there were also other issues. I could not access my salary for those many months. Eventually, I had to enter office through court order, because I didn't see the reason why I would not be handed over office after 1 year. Thereafter, the then acting director was transferred on promotion to another hospital, from where he was given another assignment to go and act in another regional referral hospital. And so that tension came down. It has some political undertone, but it has eventually come down. Still comes up. Politics doesn't completely go off. Comes up on and off, but we are there working in a more calm manner than when you came, and the team. Thank you. The oxygen plant, I can assure this committee that this oxygen plant is fully operational. At the time, there was a glitch, and that glitch might come back again because this plant is made outside the country, and what it requires to be changed from time to time cannot be found on the market. It has got to be brought in by the suppliers, through the suppliers from the factory. And that factory is, I think, somewhere in Turkey or somewhere, and that is not sustainable. We don't have people who are properly trained to manage this plant, so these issues might arise again. More importantly, with COVID now, if we have 10 fully blown COVID in intensive care unit requiring oxygen, we will only be able to serve 8. Would have exhausted its capacity. So the capacity was assuming no more operations. So if we get the type of picture we are seeing in South America, in South Africa, and in Europe, we will have challenges there. Internal auditor. Indeed, we did not have internal auditor. After writing a score of time, one was posted there to be shared with Moroto Regional Referral Hospital. Now, if you look at our map, that is not exactly a very comfortable arrangement, because so we have issues there. I think it is one of the issues in this report that we are going to discuss. Now we have one, but we are sharing. Finance tells us there are very few, so we must share. If we were sharing with Gulu, or with Lira, or with Oima, maybe, but with Moroto, that distance is too far. Here, I would like to report to members that now we have a hospital board inaugurated and trained. They are running for the next 3 years, and so we are not in a dilemma. We're no longer orphaned. They have started working. They were hit by this lockdown, and we could not have the last quarter's meeting, but we are scheduled. We should have actually had it next week if it was not for this. So on 27th, we are going to have a meeting with them again. I want to thank you for raising those reminders.
Okay, thank you very much. For oxygen plant, I think it is important you make an order for spares in advance. What stops you to make order?
It's not stopping us to make order. It's probably about which spared order.
No. There are those which breaks so frequently.
Yes.
Those should be at least a spare in the store.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You understand?
Yes, I understand that. I'll pick it up, because I'm also asking for training for our biomedical technicians, so that they are able to identify those parts that are serviceable and replaceable from time to time, and we'll put that in our work plan.
In one of the internal auditor, we're going to write to Internal Auditor General to advise that you cannot make Arua to share an internal auditor with Moroto. That's lack of drawing a Uganda map, because Moroto is extreme. So why doesn't you use either Guru, even Lila? I always getting it. Yeah. So that one we're going to ask. We're going to try it. The management board, that's okay. That one we're happy that you have put it in place. The transferred accounting officer, we know where he is. He's in Fort Portal. We're still following up issues with him. Yeah, we don't have to allow people to move with offices. If you leave office, you leave. The members of parliament are going to leave next year in May. Should I get stuck here when I've been told to leave? You can't. In fact, that one should have been arrested, not transferred. Okay. Accounting officer, we need to move. What is the opinion of your report? But this gentleman, is he part of you?
Yes, Chair. I'm sure he has a name. And
What happened? He refused to tell us his name.
While we were having introduction, he had stepped out briefly. I guess looking for the washrooms or something.
That's very good. You know his place. Can we have you, sir, introduce yourself?
Thank you very much, members and Chair. My name is Jonas Obos, the Senior Hospital Administrator, Arua Refferal Hospital.
You are the hospital administrator. So we are happy to that you, Mr. Hospital Administrator, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Can we have you telling us what's the opinion of your of the Auditor General report?
Thank you, Chair. The Auditor General's report says this is a qualified opinion, and he goes ahead to justify that statement.
Qualified means you have gone to the next class. You pass the first one and you have qualified. Tell us what does the qualified mean? You have gone to the next class. Because when you qualify, you go to next place.
Chairman and members, that is partially true. Sometimes we qualify to leave. If I qualified from school, I should go to do a job. So I don't have another class ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So now you qualified to go where in this report?
I think I qualified for a discussion in this room, for which you rightfully summoned us, and we have brought ourselves. Thank you.
So you are qualified to deal with us? Mm-hmm. Okay, we start. So what did you get and how did you spend?
Thank you, Chair. Maybe COVID stole my chance to make an opening remark. So I've only made a remark on COVID and not on the subject matter that brought us here.
Okay, we are now on 2018-19.
Thank you.
It is your day because you qualified to be in this room.
Thank you.
Tell your people to take something. We are not looking for faults, please.
As Isaac stated in his third law of motion, to every good happening, there is an opposite and a reverse bad happening.
That force is equal to
to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction.
Force times distance is equal to what? Energy.
So that's what we are here for. We received
You can make your opening remark you wanted to make.
Thank you. Chair, I want to start from where our Honorable had taken me. My entry in office was last year. I'm actually 1 year and 6 days old in that office. And so by the time...
You entered when?
I entered on the 30th of July.
Entered on 30th?
July 2019.
2019.
So I'm about 7 days old in that office.
And, 1 year and 1 year
and 7 days old
and 6 days.
Yeah.
And 7 days, you're right.
7 days old in that office.
After court order.
After court order, and that is after I missed to enter that office for 1 year.
And after
I missed to enter that office for 1 year.
Enter the office for 1 year.
Yes.
Good.
So the people you see before me here, most, if not almost all of them, came about the same time or they are after me. I joined that institution about the same time with the procurement officer, Mr. Kamara Jeff.
Who?
The procurement officer, Mr. Kamara Jeff. I joined that office about the same time with the internal auditor, who is not here. And thereafter, we received the senior hospital administrator. So he's the only administrators of the three.
You need to take some coffee from Ubujisu.
That's okay. That's how
No, take some coffee. Make some coffee for the accounting office.
Yes.
So that you can market it.
Then recently I received the principal human resource officer, and of late, beginning this financial year, I've received an accountant. So the original people I found there, we have the senior account assistant. The senior account assistant is not here. Then the account assistant, the human resource, and when I entered there, I found Mr. Obadia, the procurement officer then was exiting. He had actually just exited. So many of these things will not be able to give us details as you'd want a response, and that's why I invited Mr. Obadia back. I had also invited the previous accounting officer, who at the 11th hour told us he's not coming. I had also invited the previous principal hospital administrator, who for some reason we have not seen him here, and then the senior account assistant, who was the head of accounts and the one who wrote the final accounts, is not here. I didn't understand him, but anyhow, he's not here. So we are going to we have answered as honestly as we could find information, and many times at the advice of the people in the office. So many things might not be to the expectation, but we'll try to put it all on the table and see what comes up. Chair, as we stay, we are getting lost as regional referral hospitals, because we are not exactly in the districts and we are not exactly in the Ministry of Health. This is a hanging institution. To give you a small thing, in the recent past, Parliament gave Ministry of Health money for COVID. We were asked to write MOU with Ministry of Health. So if that is their institution, they're asking for MOU. I didn't know. So we have that concern. We have no legislative linkages between local government to regional referral hospital, and I think we also don't have one linking Ministry of Health to regional referral hospital. So where are we? This is a matter that might be very good for your table at a different time, and we think it would help us. Chair, COVID came when appropriation was done. Money is being dispatched for that. The formula, we are learning how it is occurring, but the issue is the delay in releases. We're operating.
Okay, you are saying you have a problem.
Yes.
You don't know where you fall. You fall in the health sector. I want to explain that. You are a vote. You are a vote on your own. And you account for your own. You have no legal saying you are a part of local government. No. You are not a district hospital. You are not a health center 4. You are not a health center 1 or 2 or 3. So you are a vote on your own. I want to make clear also that a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Health is allowed. Note this, write it down, under Treasury Instruction 10.18. The one in charge of COVID is the Ministry of Health. Now, when they want to disperse their money to you, you must have a memorandum of understanding how to manage that money. And you must account to it, because they do account it to us. And that's the reason why memorandums are coming. It was a result of what came here to see, and we are going to see one of them here in this process as we go ahead. Are we together? So you can't raise complaints. Your only complaints would be on your releases, on your budget you have submitted. Am I clear? And I'm going to assist you with my treasury instruction so that you read it and you understand what I'm saying. So MOUs are important. COVID delays in the releases, that one we picked it. I've said you got money 270 million in April, and up to now you have not got anything more. Yet you have refugees, and that one I can tell you I'm going to even trade. I'm going to make a phone call. Refugees, and your budget is not changing, and the local people there are trying to bring in more people whom they don't want to live because it's a border case. If you went to Busia, a Samia of Kenya is the same as the Samia of Uganda, and one of the live examples is Arua. Arua is in Uganda. His brother was a vice president in what? In Kenya, and one mother, one father. Am I wrong? So these border cases are very complicated. You can't refuse. You may be refusing my brother went across. I hope you are getting it. So those ones, you just treat people. The only thing we must advocate is more resources for you. That is one challenge we have taken, and I can tell you we're going to write a letter, and we shall copy you in about the issue of COVID. Why I want you to live here satisfied with that so that you don't call with the Ministry of Health is I want to give you the treasury instructions so that you understand. But you don't need to quarrel with your people. Do your work. And I think you read it at your free time, but then it says this. Service carried out by one vote for another vote. You understand? One vote for another vote. It means you are doing work for another what? Vote. You need to have a memorandum of understanding. It is here, memorandum accounts and all supporting documents. And here, I'm going to give you a photocopy of specifically that to avoid anger. Are we together, Mr. Accounting Officer? The other one is Article 164. It says the accounting officer will personally be liable for resources given to him or her in that area, either ministry or department or agency. Now, what you are going to do here, we are going to look at you, what you tell us, what you know. If it is a personal liability, it will be passed on the person responsible. Are we together? It's good you brought our procurement officer. Yes, my brother.
Chair, I think for the benefit of what the accounting officer was trying to say, that they are neither here nor here, the linkage is not known. I think what would have expected the accounting officer to say was the sister vote, which is the mother Ministry of Health, is not giving them enough support in relation to the expectation, and mainly COVID, and then maybe other support that they would expect from the ministry. I thought, accounting officer, that should have been your complaint, that you need to be supported over and above what your vote entails.
Exactly. What you are raising says your ministry should be able to assist and support you. But in case they fail, as a vote, we are here to what? To assist, support. So, how to go over it, that one is that you must confirm to us that you have tried to ask them to assist and they have failed. That book I'm going to photocopy for you, those specific, photocopy 10.18, 10.19, and he goes with it. You will read it in the easy car which he came with. I hope you came with your own car. Accounting officer, you came with the official car? You have a driver? So instead of dozing, you read it. Okay. So can we deal with the matter now? What did you get and what? That's your microphone. You don't switch off.
During that financial year, Chair. The hospital was appropriated 8.853 billion and 8.8756 billion was received, leaving a difference of 97.5 million, and that is what was used. In addition to that, there are some small project monies that came through. Minister of Health says we want you to operate mothers leaking urine. We do that, and they transfer some monies for such activities direct to our account, and that is what we...
Where's the project money? Show us the project money. Have you seen this thing Dr. Nyako have given us? Is your name Philbert or Gilbert?
Philbert.
Is there a name called Philbert?
Yes.
Christian.
Mine at least.
You could have changed it yourself. Like me, I have also mine on. So, Doctor,
yes.
Where is the project? Because what I can tell you, have you seen what you have given us of your account? I hope this is your signature.
Yes, it is.
The last page, second last page, at the back I'm assuming, it is showing shadow of project balances. Have you seen it?
It's empty, Honorable Chair.
Yeah, empty. And from our records, we know you got some money somewhere. So, you came intentionally to lie us. So what happened now? Have you seen what I'm saying?
Yes, I have seen it.
So this page is not filled. So it is incomplete. Can you say project account is project
incomplete? Yes.
So what are you going? How will you handle it? Since you have come here, how are you handling the page?
Chair, as I said, by the time we were doing these final accounts, I had just come in. I was trying to learn many things, and the learning continues. Of course, I've also discovered this. But in the Auditor General's report somewhere, I think I'm trying to look for it, there was that kind of question raised: where did this money come from? That is not declared, and we tried to look for where it came from, and we discovered the details of how that money was related to the...
You have seen you have made an adjustment on cash. You say that cash cannot be adjusted. It is the cash. Either somebody now carried it and said they were adjusting. Are you getting what I'm saying? Cash is what?
Cash.
So do you have proof that Auditor General was ready to qualify the report? Accounting officer, do you accept that Auditor General, you never gave him answers to qualify the report?
Thank you, Chair. I think I need to go back and look at it.
No, just get the... Because we're looking for cash, we can't see it. Neither you can't see it. Auditor General cannot see it. Where you go to this room, we cannot also see it. So now...
Thank you. This word cash was not declared to me, so I'll go back and ask, can I have it in 1 week? So that I pass it over to...
Yes!
to park.
Yeah, you have to pass
and advise us what to do with it.
No. What you do is that you come here with a receipt that you have taken into the consolidated transfer bank. We don't need here for us, we need only the receipt and we shall confirm. Yes, Rosemary.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm sorry I came late. I'm Nawat Rosemary, Member of Parliament, Amudati District. Mr. Chairman, the accounting officer is telling us he will go and find out. I don't know whether the accountant is not present here. The person who prepared these financial statements. Because I would imagine he is the one to guide us.
Yes, sir.
I think through my accounting officer, I'll work hand in hand with the accountants there, and we shall come with the documentary evidence of the 182. I know the handling was not fine. I had also detected that error. So we shall make sure that we come
You
with
detected and sent it to us.
No, this morning.
You detected and gave it to us. Okay. Rosemary, he is 1 year and 7 days in the month in the office. He entered through a court order because the accounting officer then never wanted to leave. And when he left, he must have gone with everything. Now we need to now that one's a good one. But we were giving him an opportunity to come and tell us what happened. That accountant came this financial year. So it means you came on 1st July.
No, okay, I reported. I had to go back to handover. Of course, I've also not sat on the chair. I will sit on Monday.
You have not sat in there?
I'll be able to sit there on Monday.
Accounting officer, Arua was my first place of work. Yes. In 1988. And what took me there was because from Kampala today you should go with a plane. So it is a plane which took me there. A spoon, right?
Okay, I'll get one.
No, get a spoon. So, okay. So, accounting officer, we need to finish these accounts because they have implementation now. First make your account. Make your account. You said you are with your account. What photo? Are you sure? From Kamara. Eh? Oh, Kamara. Your brother is the one who went to
Yes, Chair, I have something to say about this account.
Okay.
As I said, I'm called Ogwang Daniel, account assistant. I'm in this office in Arua. And my officer, or my head of accounts, also a senior account assistant. But I think when I look at this,
so now for you, accounting officer, you say we want you to go one. And we assign and everybody together. Now this year is the same. Balance is carried forward out as part and parcel of what comes before you. So whether there were challenges and whatever, we need all the challenges arose and whatever. That's why we have given you 7 what? 7 days. We told you we're not looking for faults. And that information you are going to give us, we are going against subjective. Because examination will again after general. Are we okay, accounting officer? Okay, now we look at areas on the same page. How much did you pay as areas?
Chair, maybe why don't you reverse the question to start by asking what was their budget for domestic areas?
You have asked it, friend. What was your budget for domestic? Maybe let us do this as we go ahead. Your budget was how much? And your approved expenditure was how much? We can use the revised one. Don't want to take long, eh? Just get your hand and look at the revised and put like this. What was your revised budget? What was your expected income? How much? Why are you saying? Dr. Nyama, what are you saying?